Hello everybody, welcome back. That's not... It's lying, it's lying. Hey cat, wake up, wake up. Huh. See? He's caching me and sleeping. Alright guys, welcome back. It is 8 o'clock on the 13th of May. This would be a Tuesday. I'm so glad you could join me. Tonight, don't forget, if you're watching live or if you're watching later, we do have a Discord. You can join us. The link is in the description. With that out the way, what are we doing tonight? We're going to be looking at some ComfyUI workflows. We're going to be doing some vibe coding, probably a lot of that actually. I got a few things to show you, how I made them and how you can make them. And we're going to be doing a little bit of writer's room in the fact that I finally released the story bucket. So the story bucket for the Mars storyline. So we're going to take a look at that. Hello Apollonia, hello Control Alt Art, hello Fernicar, and hello Dragon Diffusion. Welcome everybody. So glad you could make it, like I said, and if you're watching later, so glad you could, join us. Go ahead and like the video, So anyway, what's this? So a little while back, as a matter of fact, Control Alt Art, you get to laugh at me tonight because we're going to be making my SVG art grid finally. So wish me luck. I think I actually messed this up. I'm getting him to fix it now. I haven't even tested it, I'm just getting ahead of it. So while he's doing that, we're going to bounce back and forth between things. There are some recent things that have happened. So let's just see what we've got here. Let's go to Old City first. I like to do the rounds now at the start of the stream. So let's see, what's C-Train? 9.6 distilled. Oh, by the way, I did run it on my 4GB laptop and it never managed to make a video. After an hour of sitting there, it never made it. Sad times. But that's just the way it goes. Hopefully the levels are good tonight. Like I said, we've been trying to make it so the music's a little bit quieter. Should make me easier to be heard. Right. So nothing on there. 097 GGUF. That interests me because I would like to see what the Q6K at 12 and what the Q8, because the Q8's sometimes better than the FP8. So I think we do need that. And I've already got all the rest of it. Or do I? Because I downloaded it all on my laptop. Probably need to download it again. But for now, this is enough. So let's see. The 12GB 6K and the 14GB Q8. So let's just put that one straight into... Will it go in here with these guys? If it won't, I can easily cut and paste it. As long as it's on the right drive, I just can't be bothered to wait. Download time plus copy time, it drives me nuts. Kijai, man of the hour. Let's do a quick GitHub scope. The legend, Kijai. Jukasapaden. So, yeah, this is the man. He writes a lot of rappers. What's LBM? 23 minutes ago? What's this? See, we were going to be looking at HunYuan Custom, which is like a brand new thing, which is currently in development. But what's this? I bet there's no info. Let's find out. Latent bridge matching. Relighting. Ooh, it's relighting, guys. Goes into fusion models. Grab that. Wow, my computer's going to be cooked on downloads for a while, but yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. It's strange. Well, so we do a background swap and then it relights it. That's nice. So it's driven by the background. Sick. Fusion models, yes please. Yeah, so we're going to be checking that one out tonight. Relighting. Hell yeah, guys. Now, this is for stills by the looks of it, but who knows? So, LBM, rapper. So how do we do it? We all know how to do it by now, I'm sure. But we're going to go through it. So, step one. You're going to want to find your comfy folder. Here's a comfy folder. We're going to go into the not DJZ nodes. For once, it's just the custom nodes folder. I'm going to right click open terminal or type in the top here CMD. And then we're going to give it the old git clone and URL. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Your drive is full. If you ever see this, you have a hoarding problem, like me. No. There's just too much stuff on there, guys. Okay, so I'm thinking triage time. We've downloaded too much, which means this isn't good. Look, none of this stuff yet. Nothing. Right, so the terabyte is full. Now we've got a new side quest. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to delete the extra comfies that I don't use yet, because I can make them again, and I'll save a load of memory. I'll keep the 3D version now. That'll do it. Delete 4 comfies at once. Surely that'll give me some space back. No! It's okay. It's only got experimental code inside, which wasn't ready for release. So I can do it again anyway. So anyway, while it's doing that, let's talk about what I've been working on in the last 24 hours. Yesterday, I showed you guys this really cool prompt which was shared with me by Mr. Superfakename, and I shared it in the inside line, pinned it. So this is pretty cool. Write a single file HTML using Tailwind style CSS, Chart.js, Alpine.js, and Font Awesome, all via CDN only. And then we've made some customizations. Let's put that a little bit higher up. I'm getting like, you can't even see my head. So anyway, it started with the swatch. So we have a swatch thing, right? Very cool. Meeting start at 8:33. That's the live stream, and then we're going to do it for 100 beats. Probably end around here-ish sometimes. So anyway, made this because you can immediately see if it works or not. We talked about this yesterday. But it does look kind of cool. It's got like a little info panel about what it is, themes, alarms. It's got like good features. Right? It's all running. It's very cool. Anyway, put that to one side. Where are we? Discord. Right. So anyway, I went ahead and I made DJZ tools, and like I said, it's finished. So let's just take a look at it. You go to scuffedepoch.com/DJZ-tools, and this is funny, okay, right? Because I want to tell you what this actually is. Oh, what's a swatch? Says Dragon. You're just memeing, mate. You know, of all people, you know exactly what that is. Yeah, Swatch is a wristwatch manufacturer. They're very popular in previous decades. Yeah, like Casio. Do you know what I mean? And they invented this time standard, which is 100 beats in a day. So it's the same time no matter where you are on the planet. It's pretty ingenious. But the reason I did it was because you can vibe code the project like that and immediately tell that it works or not. Because obviously, if the number's wrong, the code didn't work. You see what I mean? You didn't know what it was. Oh, fine. In that case, let me just go back to it, because I didn't mean to, like, you know what, I blazed past it. So let me just open it up. So Swatch beat times is a decimal time system that divides a day into, sorry, not 1,000, it's not 100, 1,000. 1,000 beats instead of 24 hours. And the beauty of it is, I can tell you, meet me at 800 beats, and it's the same time no matter where. He's like, I've never worn a watch. All right, here we go. I knew there was a joke in there somewhere. Mind you, I can relate to a degree. Anyway, so what is DJZ Tools? It's not the scripts. That's number one. It's not the scripts. It's a link to the GitHub. Yeah, so this will take me to the GitHub. Sim Reset, one of my tools, one of my many tools. Okay, but what it actually does is, so say I said C:\models. Oh wait, not models. This would be like ComfyUI/models, right? And then the target path would be like D:\AI/models. So say you have a remote path where you keep all of your checkpoints, because you obviously you're not copying them all the time, right? So you have a comfy, it's got a sim link. That's what this will do. So when I go execute, it actually doesn't execute. It tells you, okay, great, now go do it. But if I look down here, wait a minute. This one didn't work. Sadly. So it's supposed to. Oh no, wait, yeah, it kind of did actually. But it's supposed to generate it with the paths, which I don't think it did. Unless, of course, when you run this... I know why. It's because when you run this, it literally asks you. So actually, now you have the paths that you want, like, noted down. This is supposed to help you, if you know what I mean. It'll, go get it, download it. Yeah. Let's go to a different one. Maybe Hugging Face is better. So I can put different Hugging Faces in here. 1, 2, path. There we go. So it did work. So it's like giving me a command. It like builds the command for me. That was the idea. And then it gives you an example of the settings file so you can like pre-bake. So yeah, and I think it even tells you if you need to install like requirements and stuff. But the full information is there. Anyway, the point is, it's like there's 14 of them here, and we vibe coded the whole thing by creating a modular CMS which is built on that prompt. Okay, so just in case you've forgotten, that prompt was write a single file using Tailwind style CSS, chart.js, alpine.js, and font awesome, all via CDN only. And then I've like added a bits on, you know. I've said, okay, now we're going to make the theme better. Now we're going to do this. Now we're going to do that. And then in the end, I was like, now split it into separate files. Okay. So this isn't just one file anymore. It has been reborn. It is now stronger, faster, and more useful. So let's see if I can even find it. Look how busy I am. Where the hell is the thing? It was what? How many repos ago was this? This one. Okay. Spoilers. So anyway, as you can see, here's my private repo with all of the, you know, every time I added a new card, because basically that's what I'm trying to say. It's actually a card-based system that uses... Anyway, let's just show you. So each card is named after the script that it's the tool for, and then we have an index. There's not much point showing the entire script slowly like that because it's like blah, code, right? But the point is, you can see at the top, we're using the Tailwind, we're using Alpine, we're using Font Awesome Chart. No tricks, it's doing exactly what we said on the tin. The only difference is we do have an external JavaScript which is doing a few extra things, okay? Modules, right? So the pages are listed in the module. This is the beauty of this, because if I was to just make this in a single HTML file, it eventually it gets so long, okay, that the AI won't work with it anymore, and he'll start hallucinating as well. And there's some limitations to this too, but what I've managed to get it down to is you have a template, you vibe code what the template is for and about. It makes it kind of like this-ish. You put in a night mode, flashbang, right? And any script or whatever it is, I don't know what it is you're doing. It doesn't matter. It's a card-based web layout, right? So it's actually just a card template for like content management. There's a couple of extra things I want to show you, but so like I said, you've got the page for the thing. Every single one has a page. There's a link to the thing. It's got all the instructions, what this is doing, how it works, blah blah blah, right? You get the picture. All of my little scripts that you probably wouldn't even know exist, they now have a little home, right? So that was cool. But the fun part is so here we go. Let me just show you again. It's like, it's easier just to show you half the time. Let me just see if I can find this. God damn. Okay. So if I come out of here and take a look at the modules.js. Okay. So as you can see right here, every single one has an ID. Look, see, this is all of the info for the thing. So what I'm saying is, like, you create what you do, the actual prompt, it duplicates one of the existing pages, and then it updates the JS, which lists the references, okay? So this is like going to build the same thing, okay? And if we keep going, let's see, modules. So they're all in here, right? They're all in here. It's a load of code. you know, there's a template. Look, here's the ID for Scout, open bracket. If you go all the way down, eventually it will close bracket, and that'll be in the beginning of the next one, yeah? So from like here to here, that's a card, okay? That's a card, okay? And so what that means is this amount of code is short. This amount of code is short. It's easy for you to just copy this into an array. So then the AI doesn't even need to touch it. So when it gets beyond the length of the AI being able to append to it now, because it does, if it will eventually, oh, this is too big. Well, you can just add to it, or find some other more efficient method like a database or something to drive the... But blah, blah, blah. That's an overhaul. My point is you can just add it in. And so, we added this cool feature up here, top right, create module. So, again, we vibe coded it from scratch. Obviously, it looks better. It looks more normal in the, you know, the dark mode kind of busted up the backgrounds for the tabs there, but it's a small thing. But yeah, like I said, this is like a custom CMS for adding more of those modules, right? I don't do it this way, but I just wanted to show you that if I filled all of this stuff in, put all my parameters in, put my commands in, okay, put my content in with HTML support, it eventually will give me a module code which I can just copy paste in. So like, even if you're not like, do you know what I mean? I'm just trying to sort of make people go, so hang on a minute, because it's like the ability to update it and extend it is really important, and if you can get away with not using AI for that, that's cool. I will be though. Basically, I just do a prompt. I'll show you the prompt. It's a really simple prompt. It just basically, let's just show you. So if I go back to DJZ tools and then go to plan2.txt, you'll see this is the prompt. Why is it going off the edge of the screen? So index.html is the front end which allows access to the module pages, which provide short descriptions and GitHub direct links while simulating commands and options for each script to aid the user. We can improve the system to make it easier to add more pages for our information website with CLI simulation modules. We can add our next module based directly on rename image v2 HTML. That's just any of your pages, right? As a template. The new module will simulate commands and options for whatever it is, the script that I'm using, yeah, which I've obviously put into the thing when I'm doing the prompt. We can use for links, GitHub, here's the link to the GitHub for that script, direct download, there's the blob for the direct link. We can match the style, layout and format used in rename image v2 HTML, however, reflecting the functions and information related to caption root creator. Okay, name of this module page, misspelling, is caption root creator HTML. Once completed, we can update the required files, I love it, to display the new module. And if we then go to the caption root creator script, which is the last one I made, so if I said photo of XYX cat, yeah, execute, it's telling me I have to basically run this and it'll ask me. It's some of my early scripts have got like choices and stuff in the Python, and then the later ones I'm using options and config JSONs because I realized one was better than the other for what we're doing. But the early scripts, I'm like trying to make it easy, so when you run this, it's gonna assume that you're running it from inside a folder full of images, and what it's going to do, assuming that that folder is a bunch of XYX cat images, it's going to create a text file that matches the name of the image file, and the first line of the text file will read what you put there. It's like a caption preparation script for training image models. It's really fast, and I think it might have subdirectory support. If it doesn't, you can just take the script and extend it with Claude or ChatGPT very easily. But yeah, there's a link to the GitHub if you take a look. It's got a full README with full instructions and all that good stuff. But yeah, I used to use this a lot early on, and whenever I have a new data set, it's nice to be able to just automate that part, because sometimes it can take a long time, and then you can use Vision to append after the roots, see? So it would be photo of XYX cat, and then whatever Vision saw. And that usually works quite well to train an image model like super fast. And obviously if you want to be training video models now, you can do the same thing, only caption like 1 or 2 or maybe 4 frames from each clip. Anyway, that's that one. So like I said, this is my DJZ tools. It's all built using the stuff that we were teaching yesterday, but like fully fleshed out, I guess. It's by no means perfect. There are actually a few things which I can tell you to watch out for, which is pretty nice. If you're using Claude or Klein, something which he does is he gets confused with underscores. The reason is because markup text, if you put an underscore on either side, he'll italicize, okay? And sometimes he'll get confused, and then also he has a default behavior of saving things with dashes, not underscores. And Python wants underscores. So just be aware of that, because like I said, I can show you a couple of things here. All these GitHub links work, and I know I put them in right. And I even did a second pass. I said, look, this one and this one, they have the wrong link. Check it out. No, not that one. There. They have the wrong link. Why is it wrong? Because the dash is an underscore. Okay? So this is the sort of thing that AI messes up all the time. He'll turn your underscores into dashes. Okay? Even if you tell him directly, no, use an underscore. You have to, but I think it's something to do with the markup. He thinks it's markup, and anyway. So the other way around it is, of course, just don't have spaces at all. You know what I mean? If you have like a naming convention where you just don't use spaces, right? It won't be a problem. But it's just something to note that Python wants underscores. It actually can have problems running Python scripts with a hyphen in it. I've got examples on GitHub as well of that somewhere. I forget which one it is, but I'm sure I could find it. I had to write a complete thing to replace all of the dashes with hyphens so it would run. It was quicker to do it that way. Bit hacky, but it worked. Anyway, so yeah, just be aware of that. If you've got dashes in URLs or file names, it may screw that up. Look, see here, look, it's doing it again. Caption dash root dash creator. What's the file name? Oh, that's not going to work. Okay, fair enough. I screwed that one up, but takes two to tango. All right. So anyway, like I said, this was pretty cool. I used the prompt which I showed you to add successive modules, and then they just get added to a file, and then these are actually independent pages. So that means it's fully extendable. You can have as many as you want. I call this a mini site. I wanted to build in a wizard style creator so that anybody could do this even without AI or coding knowledge, right? I think that's important to try and have that kind of thing in mind. But yeah, this is all of my little tools. So this one's sim reset. He makes sure that your model paths are going through a symbolic link, so you can have multiple comfys without ridiculous amounts of storage taken up. Hugging Face, this is for downloading multiple, so it's not just download one thing, it's download multiple, so you can comma separate Hugging Face repo lists. And say you've got 100 gigabytes in 3 or 4 repos, you could just leave it on overnight, come back, they're done. That's why all my hard drives are full. Zenkai Image Mask is for ComfyUI. It's a special image loader that loads prompts, images and masks all together as a data set, and then you can randomize the image and the mask, use either or, usually both. But for artistic purposes, being able to get animated masks coming out like this is quite useful, and they do come with a prompt, I believe. Image renamer, this one is actually pretty simple. It's recursive, so you know how sometimes you'll get Comfy to output files and they always come with that underscore 0001 underscore and then the PNG name. And so even if you told it match the input file name, so you've got a file, you've captioned it, say, but at the other end it's still got that numbering at the end. So anyway, what does this do? It literally uses a where's it gone? Oh, it used to show me the thing. I must have changed this. But yeah, it removes the underscore XXXXX thing. There is actually like a way of saying it. It's like /D5 or something. Anyway, right. Zenkai Control Prepare is exactly the same as the last one, but this one has mask, depth, prompt, canny, pose, canny. So you've got an image, you've got a prompt, mask, and you also get depth, pose, and canny. So this is super powerful. I've been using it a lot lately in testing with all my image generation, because obviously that goes straight into the video generation. Right, let's see, we're about halfway through the first hour, so I just want to say welcome everybody, thank you all for joining, and don't forget to like the stream. We should make a list of 100 thing AI messed up. Yeah, hey, that would be too easy. Yeah, you could probably do that like tonight, but it's not on my list. And poor old Dragon talking about his eyesight, poor guy. Hey, Full Dive Media, sorry I've been reading stuff out continuously. Welcome, welcome, so glad you could join, and hello to Kurt Curtis. Welcome, welcome. So let's continue. So anyway, like I said, this is a preparation tool that there's a workflow which you use to make the folders. You know, I have a data set, I convert it into these, I point it at that path and it makes it into a data set. Then I can use the randomizer. It's very powerful. I've been trying to show it off lately. Big tutorial will be coming down the pipeline soon. Really a Sargan converter. This one is because I have a training Gradio and CLI. In fact, I don't know if the Gradio works. The CLI definitely works, and I've used it to train a bunch of ESRGAN, real ESRGAN upscaling models. And there's actually an artistic angle to this, because if you use a very small number of images, like 100, it's possible to turn it into the most insane hyper collaging tool you've ever heard of. In other words, whatever you trained your upscaler on, if you zoom in on your blown up images after you upscale them with the resulting model, it will be made up of tiny, tiny images of what you trained it on, because we overtrain it for an artistic effect. It's very cool. Well, it's not really overtraining, there just weren't enough images, you see what I mean? So it's the same thing. It's the same thing as overtraining, you know? It expected me to use thousands of images, and I used like 100 to see what would happen. I used 4K landscape photography from my portfolio, and you zoom in on anything and you can see trees and sunsets and hedges and blue skies with clouds and stuff. It's really cool. I do occasionally show it off, and you can find the upscaler on my Civet models, where everything, I give it all away, guys. There's no point hanging on to it because we make so much. But yeah, like I said, this one is converting the resulting path file into a safe tensor, which is what most people want. Most people don't want your dirty pickle. Okay, all right, next. I'm just doing the roundup, guys. Caption editor, very simple. It edits the captions. So say I have two models and I want to merge them into one LoRa set, and they use the same tag. So you've got XYX man and XYX woman. Probably a good idea to change XYX woman to ZXY or some other thing. And so you swap one of them, merge, now you can train them together. There's reasons for that, we've gone over it many times. But yeah, it stops token collision without you having to like actually go through and edit everything. Alright, now I know there's lots of tools for this, and we're probably going to develop it into like some wonder tool at some point, but again, it has a recursive mode, okay, so you can do folders and folders. But yeah, I'm just trying to do better with the documentation, make it a little bit more clear and easy to understand. I'm probably going to have to edit these. This is as it came out of the AI today, so there it is. Obviously all of these were already made and established GitHubs, but I'm trying to put them all in one place, as you say. Right, so video cropper, this is a new one. You put the video input, you put the timestamp in an HHMMSS, so hour, minute, second format, in and out stamp, and then where you want it to be saved and where it's called, and it essentially allows you to use a JSON format to batch clip an input file. So say you have a half-hour segment from a 2-hour stream, it's possible to just batch it out, okay? And then you can say, I wanted the 2-minute mark, please, for 30 seconds. It's easy to do, and it's easy to automate, And your LLM can use this as a tool, because once you've got it installed, you just tell him, I've got a half-hour video, can you write the JSON to clip out every third minute and a half, and then, you know, clip it, right? That's the idea. It's a clipping tool, a hyperspeed clipping tool. Now, how do you get the in and out marks? Oh ho ho. Well, that's using video vision, but you got to pay for that at the moment, so I'm still working on the open source solution. I think it's going to be DAM, Describe Anything model, and I have got a working prototype, but it's not stable, which is why I haven't released it. I'm semi-hoping that someone else will make one. It works, but I tried installing it on a different machine and it didn't install. So yeah, back to the drawing board on that one. And it needs a mask as well, which is a bit hacky. I need to give it like a point for it to work. Anyway, Video Panner. Now this is what I've been using to get my resulting clips. See, I'd use FF Cropper on my original, I take my stream, I segment my stream, I give it to the vision. The vision tells me that's a pretty cool thing. I take the image, the in and outs in JSON. I put them into the last thing we looked at, and then boom, I hit them with this thing, with an overlay, and it turns horizontal into vertical format. So all of the shorts get made with this tool. Okay. Now I have done a load of experiments to see if I can make it run faster. My record with overlay, so that's a transparent top and bottom text, yeah. My record was 80 FPS, which is not bad. I think that's not bad. I got 125 without the overlay, and I had to do a bunch of CUDA stuff. CUDA. But anyway, so that's what that is. And as I say, like I say, I've got like you can change the mark points for the panning. So it'll like start panning at 5% of the video, it will be at the middle at 50%, and it will reach the right alignment at 90% and then hang. And that was the easiest way I could do it. So obviously it's going to take a video, turn it into 720p, put it in a 720 frame. So if you just imagine a cross, you know, so it's panning from left to right into the vertical with the, whatever your image is at top or bottom. It's all on GitHub, you can go ahead and check it out. Pan vertical, the Video Panner 3000. Oh yeah, I told him use unhinged emojis. I do this sometimes for fun. But yeah, there's actually like other versions of this, I think. Let me just check, because this is an interesting one. We might as well have a little word on this one, because this one I spent like 20 bucks. Easy. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. So the project goes like this: Pan Vertical CLI, stable, standard, works. I use this one for all of my shorts. I convert from horizontal to vertical in bulk using that. I have like 100 short clips and I run them all through this. Okay, very cool, very fast. Runs on a laptop with a 4GB GPU, so you know, it's very nice. Anyway, so then I was like, can we do it with UV? Because Claude and Klein, they don't really know what UV is. So I had to like make my own rag for like a cookbook for using UV. So this does work. And it's about as fast as this, I think. And it is, and it's accelerated as well. Do you know what I mean? It's and it's not just PyTorch. It's got a whole bunch of stuff. It's using CuPy. It's using a whole bunch of stuff. So then I decided, well, how far does that go? Do you know what I mean? So that's how we got to the unstable version. Now it does actually work in its current state. It is stable, but it's using experimental optimization. So let's have a look at that. And then if you are feeling particularly spicy, you can take my Pan Vertical deep fried mode, which may or may not work because I went too far. And I want to talk about that. I went too far, guys. But yeah, the vertical, this version is fully unhinged. So what we've done batch processing, smart memory allocation, enhanced alpha blending, parallel ops, vectorized operations, pre-computed lookup tables, optimized alpha blending, smart memory management, broadcast techniques, It even gives us really cool examples on how it's implemented. See, NumPy, this is so great. This is like black magic at this point. I'm like vibe coding into the hole, you know. But yeah, it made significant improvements because it was actually accelerating anything to do with NumPy and anything to do with OpenCV. It wasn't just PyTorch. And I think ComfyUI actually accelerates some other stuff. But anyway, like I say, we ended up with this crazy system, which I tested it mostly on the 4GB, but it had a special pipeline for running extremely high batch size, and all this sort of stuff. I never got to test it on the 4090 yet, to be honest, so I'll get around to that one day. But yeah, the multi-threaded pipeline is nice. So it's reading video on one thread, then it's processing them on another thread, and then it's writing them on another thread. Now this is crazy. For vibe coding, it just blows my mind what you can actually get away with. And it keeps going as well. It doesn't, like I said, I went too far. This is just unstable, so hang on, I can't, calm down. We ain't cooked yet. But yeah, as you can see here, when you look at the setup, you know, Koopy CUDA, what else was there? Needs FFmpeg, obviously. Do you know, I think in the end we were like trying to actually rewrite FFmpeg in C to see if it was faster. Yeah, just do that, Claude. Go for it, mate. Yeah, I believe in you. But yeah, as you can see, you end up with high batch size, a pipeline queue. It's and it scales to memory. So anyway, let's have a look at the deep fried version. So wait, is there like a special file to tell me? It did this CUDA path, and yeah, this is actually super interesting. This was where it was at. Where is it? CUDA? No, not unstable. CLI. So let's have a look at it. So unstable we've looked at. Deep fried. Okay, look at this. So silly. FFmpeg Direct C API integration. 0 copy data path between FFmpeg and ComfyUI. Are you going far enough? NVIDIA NVENC and NVDEC support. And I even got QSV for free. I was just sat there chuckling. I couldn't believe what it was doing. It's got all of the other optimizations from the previous iterations as well, obviously. Here we go. Yeah, like, I've only read about that. I've never done it myself, just full transparency. I've never coded 0 copy, whatever. I've never done that, okay? That's completely new to me. So just full transparency. But when Claude's holding your hand, it only costs a few bananas to get there, which is just insane. Now, like I said, this one's deep fried. The last commit may have broken it. I try to only commit working versions, but this is a deep fried version, so I just, you know, I just wanted to show people what happened. And we went through all of the prompts on a previous live. But the most important thing about this, actually, the big lesson here, was actually this. So a different way to set the CUDA path in a virtual environment. So this could actually help accelerate many projects which were implemented and work, and you just kind of look at it and go, well, it works, and you don't think, well, hang on a minute, could we actually make it faster, all that kind of stuff, because, you know, it's not the norm, right? But yes, the answer is usually yes, you can make it faster. Usually 3 to 5 times faster is I would say expected. So anything you get, it could probably be 3 to 5 times faster, just like that. And I haven't even started talking about PyTorch Lightning or all of these other things which, you know, all this caching stuff which people are doing. I'm just talking about just general Python scripts which you may or may not be using. They may or may not have AI acceleration in them, but you're writing them with AI, right? So, but anyway, it's very simple, really. Check it out. And like I said, I included this in the project. First, you got to install the CUDA toolkit. Most of us will have that anyway because we're running ComfyUI and whatever else. Once you've got, and obviously you want to get the version you're after. I went with 11.8 for this. Good compatibility. Do you know what I mean? A lot of things will run 11.8, so I just went with that. But obviously your setup might require a different version, but I think 11.8 is a pretty safe bet. So anyway, yeah, check this out. You set the environment variable in PowerShell, and if it works, you can get it back by typing that. Right? It's funny because you can actually go further, and like, you know, when you actually install a virtual environment, you can open up the activate bat or the activate PS1, the PowerShell shell script, and then you can manually add your path to CUDA toolkit there as well. And when I saw this, I was like, I never do this. And like I said, anything that's running NumPy or OpenCV could be 3 to 5 times faster. I find that interesting because I'm like going back over old projects now going, you know. But yeah, essentially that's one of the things. There's another document like this in one of these projects. Let me just find it. Here we go. CUDA setup. So I wrote this one in the pan vertical CLI. It's got both of them in there, just as like a crib sheet, you know. Like, what's all this? Oh yeah, because of the UV. This is part of the UV project, so disregard when it talks about the UV, right? Because that's where I figured it out. But yeah, essentially this part here, install CUDA, and it tells you where to put the files, you see. So when you get CUDNN, because you don't even get full, I couldn't believe it, you don't even get full acceleration. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll copy these files into my CUDA toolkit, set my env, and now I get full acceleration. I didn't get as far as doing the TensorRT yet though. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets a little bit quicker, like a little bit more performance. It's only when it's relevant, you know. It's not going to make everything faster, but whenever you go into these areas, it's going to be faster. Well, that's the experience I've had. So it's more than just the drivers and PyTorch, you know. Obviously, it has to be coded for that. But if you're a vibe coder and you want to like do a bunch of cool AI stuff, you want it to be quick, right? So anyway, there's the Koopy installation guide right there. I think mine's a little bit briefer, but this has got way more information, probably more than you actually need. But hey, maybe I should just feed this to Claude and tell him, hey, what's this? Anyway, that's enough detours. Gets back to the thing. So anyway, video panel, image segmentor. Image segmenter? That's not right. It's a video segmenter. AIfarts.com. So yeah, put the path in, you tell what the segment length is. Typically it'd be more than 30 seconds, but I don't know what you're working with. It automatically chops videos into bits with a twist. Okay? It doesn't actually just do them, it also makes a copy in 640/480, because that's what we give to the Vision. There's no point giving the Vision 4K. The chances are he only has eyes like 256 by 256 pixels, you know. So I just go with 640/480 because it seems to be what they're trained on at the moment for video interrogation models, right? And if you're going to use an image interrogation model and be cheap but more programmatical, this is also going to run faster than, do you know what I mean? But here's the beauty, the in-out points that you get back, because you say, hey, look at this 640/480 segment, and it gives you all the timestamps back to do the cropping for the in-out marks, but then you just swap out the file name to the full quality version, because remember you add pairs, so it takes the input 4K video, chops them all up, makes a little copy of every segment, does the interrogation on the little one, gives you a JSON file which you then load with the high quality version. Now they're all clipped, and then you run it through the horizontal to vertical with your overlay. Done. Shorts, instant shorts. The only thing is it's that vision model in the middle. We're trying to make it better. A lot of research is going on in the community at the moment with regard to like video captioning and just making that better. I think describe anything from the guys that did segment anything is the one, but it's a bit clunky at the moment because you got to give it a mask or a point. Okay. So anyway, that's what video segmenter is. I'll obviously change this. The labeling is easy. I can go in and edit that myself. But this is as it came. SVG art grid, I hope to take a look at in a little bit if I've got some hard drive space now. And that would be relevant to one of the guys in the chat who's made some amazing stuff by taking my code and using it to create awesome new art generators based on the same idea. So it wasn't even my idea to begin with, do you know what I mean? I found it in a blog and it was written in JavaScript. I converted it to Python. And as you say, you set the rows, you set the columns, you set the cell size, you set the name of the file, you can choose some colors, and you run the thing, and it makes you an SVG of vector art. It's very cool. It's very cool. It's intended to be put into image-to-image or ControlNet for further process. Scout 2 is a tool which will copy files from one location to another, but it's kind of like more than that. It sorts everything into folders by file extension, and you have a freeze mode which will do recursive, but it will keep folders in the structure that they're in. Caption collector simply turns a dataset into a prompt list, so you can use it for prompt automation when testing LoRa. And we already looked at what caption creator is. We did it! Man, I thought that would take longer than it did. I even showed you the create module and everything. Okay. So where do we go from here? Well, I obviously had to, didn't I? See, this doesn't actually do anything. It's just a simulator and a reference tool. Kind of like an info site, you know? And to be honest, some of them it doesn't really work because, you know, I wanted you to run the script and give it the info. So that's my fault because of like older scripts who are a different design where I would have the script ask you to enter things in the script. Whereas the later scripts, they were like options, input, output, you know, modes, config files, you know. I didn't do any of that early on. I wasn't thinking about that kind of stuff. But as we have LLMs now that can use these Python scripts, I started rethinking it because I realized, well, if the LLM can run the script and the LLM can write the JSON, he can just use the tool, can't he? He doesn't need an MCP. He can just use it natively in the console, just like that. So, anyway, as I say, I thought this is nice and all, but wouldn't it be cool if we could fork an early version of the project into Electron and actually get a dev environment, an NPM, which we could then build on Windows? And I thought, yeah, that would be pretty cool. So I thought, let's try that out. So if I go to new, and we come to the tools, and then we go back one, because actually it's not this one, it's a different one. You probably saw it earlier when I was like trying to find it. There it is. Okay, and very simply, it's the exact same prompt that we used before, only once I had a working example, I said, we can build this in Electron. So, have I got my new one yet? Here it is. Open folder, we're going to want to do tools, and it's going to be DJZ Tools Electron. There we go. And obviously, if we just git clone that one, there we go. Let's go full screen on it. So now we've got it, I'm going to immediately enter that folder, just so he doesn't get all screwed up with his root, where he thinks the root is. There we go, into the README. What do we got? We got complete Electron desktop application. So the only thing you got to worry about, because I developed this on a completely different machine, and this is important because, you know, you might have multiple machines, you want to be able to actually distribute it. Obviously that's easier when you've built, but during development it can be a little annoying because if your NPM versions don't match across your clients, you can run into some stuff. Also, I still got some warnings here, so this is literally the 0.1 This is the 0.1 version, literally first build, guys. So let's just come down here and talk about it. So it's a very simple project structure. We have an enhanced UI, which is based on the original index UI that we were just looking at. So where is it? This one is based on this UI. Obviously this is a lot more polished and developed, but at an early point in development it looked similar to that. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to follow the instructions, of course. We're going to do /setup bat, and it's going to complain that rename images is not in the right folder and tell me to put it into src tools, which it already is with all the other scripts that are in the non-functional version. Okay, now this might take some time to build, so we're going to come back to this. All right, it does take some time to build. Oh, in my face, looks like my laptop's just slow. That didn't take long. Now I'm a little bit worried if it's even going to work. Okay, so anyway, once you've built it, cool, good job. Now we get to we don't need to do install because it's in the batch file. All right, don't need to worry about that. So right, we're not actually running, we're not doing a build, we just want to do regular start. So let's see, I just do yeah, I think I just do npm run dev or bash npm start, but that's not what I normally type. Hang on a minute. I'm sure that's not what I typed. Let's just try it. I don't think that works. Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't work on my system. npm run dev. Like I said, I'm going to say that's not what I normally type. Right. Oh, we've got the dev mode. Right, let's get rid of the dev mode. Okay, so as you can see, we have the same. It's not the same, because there is some element of change between the two. You know what I mean? But it's the same concept. It's DJZ tools. There's a cards layout, and when you click on the cards, it takes you to the thing. The difference is this one actually works. It'll actually execute the Python, allegedly. Now, I can imagine debugging hell for when I have all 14 of them actually working on there, but that's the goal. And then I'll put a link to this on the non-functioning wiki type info site. That's the plan. But, you know, I just wanted to point out that it wasn't like, did I include the prompt in here? It doesn't look like it. Assets, Arch. No. Don't know. But I did include this, which is adding modules.md. So each module, so this is what I'm trying to do. I'm creating a modular based design so that you don't end up running into limits when you're vibe coding. So, because making a thing is cool, but making it something which is like fully fleshed out is cooler. And that's more of a challenge because you'll run into things like the underscore dash thing and, you know, yeah. But it's 99%. I very rarely get mistakes anymore. Oh my god. No. Turn that off. Right. It's not every day someone tries to call me in the middle of the show. Sheesh! I know who it is. He's in the chat, isn't he? You trolling my show, bro. Mute. I'm sorry, my guy. I am busy. Yeah, it was Eric's. Just bombing the stream. So anyway, as I say, let's get this one out of the way. God damn it, Eric's. So anyway, as we were saying, right, there's a front end, okay? There's a back end. There's integration, so it can actually run the scripts. And then we do testing. But what I'm trying to say is that we are adding the page, and then it's like, it doesn't, because you're going to give this to the LLM, all of this, yeah? So it's quite complicated, but it will figure it all out, right? and it'll add just the bit that you want for your cards. See, I've seen a bunch of things like you know, WordPress and all this stuff. There's a lot of AI based things at the moment, and you kind of haven't really got any control over any of it. And the nice thing about this is it's still kind of traditional in the way that you have the file, you have the code, you can change every little bit of it. See, something I like to do actually is to comb through and fix obvious stuff and change things, so you know, and then start again. And then what you end up doing is you end up steering it. So this is like that human reinforcement technique. You've come in and said, no, not that way, this way, and all that. But anyway, so it's running, right? Where is it? There it is. So if I put a directory here, I could, you know, browse to a path, and then it's going to use that. That's the pattern I was talking about. /D bracket 5 bracket, which basically means 00001, right? But yeah, so that's what that does, you know. Obviously the rest of them I'll have to add individually, but they're all in the SRC tools waiting to be done. And so my plan is essentially to say, in fact, should we do it now? Let's do it now. Let's add one. Let's add one now. Yeah, what's the worst that could happen, right? So we have our readme, and should we close it? Yeah, let's close it. So if I was to say I want adding modules open, and I want to get one of the new ones, so let's say I want to do caption collector, a classic. Turns all of the captions in an image dataset into a prompt list, so you can do randomized image testing. Beautiful little tool. How many lines? 14? No. 38 lines. Nothing. It's nothing. Okay. So we're going to use this one. I'm going to shut the README down. So I'm only keeping the adding modules open and the caption collector open. And we're going to go into the thing, and I'm going to say, do I need to know the entry point for this thing? We'll let him figure it out. Yeah, we'll let him figure it out. Okay, so we can add a new card to the front end by adding the logic. Adding the logic to provide the functions inside app caption. What the heck? Oh, it's a lowercase now. Roast my cheese. Caption collector.py. Yes. Yeah, so we can add a new card to the front end, and we should probably say up here named caption collector. And yes, I know I'm spelling it with an O, it's fine. I do stuff like that. Caption collector by adding the logic to provide the functions inside to the user in DJZ tools. In DJZ tools. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. It's not a complicated prompt. It's a humble prompt. Let's see how it does. Oh, of course. My bad. Wait. First thing. Read at. Because otherwise, what's the point? You know, what would be the point of even having it? Of course. Read adding modules. Then we can add the card. Because now you're an expert on my system, see? It can figure out where the files are and all that stuff. Like if it was HTML, I'd include like a name of the index file and stuff, but it's not, right? So I'd want to say you could like tell it SRC maybe. No, it's not even gonna work. That is it. It's all in here. Anyway, let's just let her rip, because that's what it's all about. Get that plan done. This cold coffee is time for coffee time. Don't worry, I won't take act mode until I come back. Let's see, what did I miss? The TINS module of CUDA acceleration. That's actually a bloody good idea. Fernicar said he did a TINS log of PySide 6 errors that LLMs always hit because 6.9.0 isn't compatible and the new document is long. That's a bloody good idea. Control Alt Art says, I like to have Gemini write initial code and then have Copilot point out issues and correct stuff. That's a good one. I'm going to come back to you on that one. I got a few neat tricks which will work with any AI, like system agnostic stuff, which is very similar to what you're doing, and it 100% works. But I got a few things, a few extra tips. Very soon, very soon. I must check a leak before I continue. Yo, we are back. What's going on, ladies and gents? So glad you could join me for the second part of the tonight's stream. So let me see, what were we talking about? Yeah, that's right. So the questionnaire. Part of my pre-planning phase now is I get him to ask me, or we play a game of 20 questions around the concept that I'm exploring, and then the answers are used to write an MD document, and then I get him to read that MD document before he even makes his first plan. And the reason I do that is because there's things which I might have forgotten, which he'll ask me, and then I'll, so it's like an interview process or Q&A. It doesn't have to be exactly 20 questions. I just got the idea from seeing a 20 questions game, and I thought, so he could interview me on my idea, and then it'll basically make a better plan. But it's the same concept, and obviously you can do that with any LLM. Do you know what I mean? So it's refining the idea before he even makes the first plan. It's a little bit like refining the plan before he actually acts. Just another little human in the loop stage where you can improve the output before you've even started. So, okay. What are we even looking at? Caption collector. What, has he done it? No? We're thinking about it. Right. Okay, so integration plan for caption collector module. That's the script. Add it to the main grid. Create a card with appropriate icon, set on click. Create tool interface. Select a directory to scan. Enhancement from the original script. Well, I guess it's the same thing, isn't it? Because it didn't have that. You couldn't do that before. You could only set a path. So yeah, it's just a bit strange to call it an enhancement. JavaScript functions, backend handlers, Python script. It's going to modify the Python script. So watch out. There's a chance for him to break it right there, even if everything else goes right. But it shouldn't be a major thing. Except command line arguments. It's because, remember I was talking earlier, my earlier scripts are with inputs, collected inputs from the user, and later I am using that because again it's just more cross-compatible, blah. Anyway, we continue with the front end card, and apparently modified Python script will accept arguments like this. See? Yeah. So yeah. Okay, fine. So it wouldn't have needed to do that if I'd bothered to write it like this in the first place. It's kind of like a standard thing. But early on I was just like make problem go away. I wasn't trying to make like a standards compliant app. I was just like make problem go away, which is what it did. If I ever find myself sitting there for more than half an hour doing a repetitive task, in fact it's less than that now, it's more like 10 minutes, but if it's a low amount of data to sort through, I still think doing it manually has a lot of value, because people make less mistakes for one. You're not going to call a cat a vase, regarding imaging, but a lot of it is just, it's not even really cognitive load, it's just repetitive action. At that point you really need to start writing scripts, and it's super easy to do now. Like, it used to be a pain in the butt because you'd have to actually write it out. Even if you knew what to write, you'd have to actually write it out and test it and everything else, and that can be quite fun. But if you don't have time for it, or if you have problems, you can feel like you're wasting time. And with this, it's kind of like, oh, if it doesn't work, it had 6 fingers, try again. You don't need to fix it, you can just make another one. It's faster, and it'll probably work first time. I hate to say it, but the models get better and better all the time, and this is going to be the case even if it isn't right now. It's close. The one shot in 3.7, Claude 3.7, is insane compared to 3.5. We used to have to do a lot of fixing of junk code, and in 3.7 Sonnet we're using, what is it, 4024 thinking tokens, or 2024 thinking tokens. That works quite nice. But he does hallucinate when he goes over 150,000 in the context window. He starts doing weird stuff. Sometimes it's okay though. For example, like if you're doing a website design and you want to get placeholder, you want it to fill the hallucination's good then, because it does good placeholder data. It fills out the site and it looks good. The problem comes when you want it to actually have the data coming in from somewhere, and you don't want to be editing the files. So it's like, it's got to work. Well, when I say people make less mistakes, I mean peak performance. I'm not talking about phoning it in for minimum wage. There's a reason why people make mistakes. It's probably because they're underpaid or overworked. Okay, let's just be real. Everyone's underpaid these days. It's just one of those things. It's horrible. So hang on a sec. Because the fact is, earnings haven't matched asset growth. Bottom line. NPM. I'm not into the debate. I'm just saying, like, that can't be denied. There's a graph. It's pretty clear. So anyway, there it is. Boom. We have added caption collector. We go in. So should we try it? Let's try it. I've got loads of them, so let's just find a caption. I've probably got one in my downloads folder. Yep, there's one. Schroner Cart, V3, curation stage. That's just images. Hang on. Tower VO, Barman V2. Do Barman V2. Caption collection failed. Script not found. Ensure caption collector is in the tools directory. Uh-oh. Spaghetti noodles. So what happened? Let's go back. Caption collector.py. So wait a minute. What directory does it think is the tools directory? It must think it's somewhere else. Right, hang on. There's an easy way to find out. When we run the tool, we see this error in the GUI. And then, however, the file is located here at caption collector, src tools caption collector. Is it because it's in src? Because we're in dev mode? And it will just be tools when it's built? I think that might be why. Hang on, I'm going to speculate here. Speculation. Is the path discrepancy due to the development environment path being src/tools/... when the built version will be /tools ... question mark. Plan mode, and be prepared to bin it if I just told him a load of nonsense. Okay. Because it worked. He did the build. The build was good. He added the caption there, the page was there, the fields were all there. He did all of the stuff, but it doesn't run. And I think that's just a path issue. Let's have a look. Show me the goods. So what he says is, come on, what the hell? It like zoomed up low. What? It keeps zooming up. It's not me. Stop zooming up. Right. Path resolution problem between production and development. Yep. So I can see the problem. ... tools caption. Yeah. Main.js is in src. Caption collection is in src tools. When the application tries to find a file, it's looking for a structure where, starting with src, going up one level, then looking for tools. This would resolve to tools caption, which doesn't exist. So solution, modify the path in development mode, or create a symbolic link, or copy scripts. I think it would be quicker just to copy the scripts to wherever the hell he expects them to be. Okay, we can duplicate the scripts to the path where they are expected. Simples, surely. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Go on then. Fernicar says, when you write read text file and then whatever, ever wonder what will statistically do if you ask it don't read the file instead? LLMs don't read them anyway. It's just it is just statistic. Yeah. Well, actually, to prove that, I would delete the file and run the prompt again. And there is a discernible difference in outcomes. You can see where it's hooking into data in the file, so you can prove that it's reading the file. This is why I get annoyed when I see it not doing that, because I can prove that it can, so it literally chose to ignore me, which does happen. To answer that one. But yeah, if you tell it, don't read this file, he will read it to know what not to mention. So it's a different outcome than deleting the file and running the same prompt, because then if you say read file in fact, if you say read file.txt and delete it, he will definitely not be able to. You see what I mean? If you want to see him go crazy and hallucinate, Look, here, look, we can do it right now for fun. Let's just open this one. New window. This is actually quite a fun little thing, which is everybody should know about, I guess. Let me just see if I can find this. Tools. And I'll just say silliness. Right. And we're going to do something silly. So we're going to say, read the contents of file.txt and summarize. Here we go. Summarize its contents while you write. What's it? While you write the war. Here we go. Yeah, the war.md, which is directly based on its content. Now, it is smart enough now for this not to work. I just want to point that out. He's smart enough to be like, none of that exists. But with a lesser LLM, he'll just start going nuts. He'll be like, oh yeah, I read all of this stuff. It's like he's just hallucinating and dreaming. Look, I noticed that it's not there. Act. You won't do it. Doesn't work. I'll say no. No, I will not confirm. Carry out the task. See if we can force him to do it. Now he's just got to write the war.md with absolutely nothing to go on. Silliness. Now what I think will happen is he will try to do, if he runs this task, he will try to use the file name to, yeah, look. He'll use the file name to condition what the content's going to be. He's writing a report on the War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. Right? There you go. So what happens is you kind of, it's a bit like when you empty prompt in an image model. Oh, he's not finished. Oh, okay. So file.txt ended up being, so look, this is the reverse stuff. Remember how I said when you write the last page of a book and you say, tell me what happened, and write the pages that came before this? We just basically did the same magic trick. We told him, there's a man with a rabbit and a hat. Tell me what the magic trick is. And then he's gone, oh, it's obviously a rabbit in, or I didn't even say that. I was like, photo of rabbit with hat. And he's gone, oh, it's clearly a magic trick. And then he said the magic trick. So I said the war.md. Okay. And so he's gone, the report is called the war. So something I know called the war of the worlds. That's what, so he's just, you see what I'm saying? So he predicted the content of file.txt based on only the file name of the summary, which he then wrote based on it. So he's looped around himself for this one. But that's literally what happened. That is the root of inversion with a forward prediction LLM. This is how my story writing works. This is literally like the piston, if you will, or the spark plug, you know? I could have said it's using only the file name and with nothing to go on. This is what it will do. Now, it's just a party trick, all right? But you can use that, as like a lever point to build out more stuff. And that is the whole point of the narrative inversion technique. So, and that was a segue. Say hello to my latest narrative bucket, which has just been released today. So let's see if we can get to it. There it is. Narrative buckets. What are narrative buckets? Narrative buckets are collections of files that define a world, characters, and rules. You can then write the last page. With AI, you can get him to look into this folder. Say, look into Moonbase. And write me the last page of a story where this has all happened. And they're having a meal now. Because it's a happy ending. Right? And reflecting on the events of whatever. And then you say, now write me the chapters that led up to this. And then you can use the hero's journey. You can use Save the Cat. You can use Dan Harmon's story wheel. You can use whatever you want. We've got a big old list. And it will use but, because, therefore, in reverse. That's what narrative spittoon is, with a bunch of other rules. Moonbase is sci-fi. New Mars is the latest one. That's sci-fi. Westwick is detective noir. It's kind of cyberpunk-ish, but it's a bit too wet for cyberpunk. Collector is like a weird alien financial thing. Empire is an interdimensional invasion military thing. And then Tower is, I think, a satirical Dungeons and Dragons type homage to Douglas Adams and Terry Pratchett. Silly concepts. And what I've done is I've given all of these away so that you can use the tools to see how they work. And then you can write your own books. Okay? So, for example, this Tower, this is the book 3 setting. So, book 1, book 2, and this is the content required to write book 3. So this would be able to write fiction in between books 2 and 3, and then potentially go off on tangents, you know what I mean, different directions, different adventures with the same people. Now obviously you can take just the lore book, just the Tower lore book, and you can use this to create your own characters, your own world location, and completely craft out the speech styles and all of the other stuff, and then use the exact same. So it's the same thing, right? And then obviously I've shown people how you can just sit there and have a spoken conversation about your idea of what you think your ordinary world is, what the genre, all that kind of stuff. Just talk to the LLM. He will dictate it, write it down, organize it, and then you work on the document, you end up with something like this. So this is the world of magical capitalism, okay? So Douglas Adams and Terry Pratchett inspired, okay? So it's like the quadrumvirate of quantifiable quandaries. It's all silliness, yeah? So, like I say, oh my god, vertically integrated hazard system. So it's all about sorcerer's towers, you know. I was like, I want to do Game of Death with wizards, you know. That was the idea. That was the initial pitch, and then we just let it go from there. There's a lot here, all right. But what I'm just saying, that's just a taste, you know. That's one of them. I have 3 more which I'm writing stories privately, which I'm going to publish. But I've been working on those stories for years. This has just supercharged them. These ones are actually we've created all of these in the last. Well, not all of them. I think Default has been out for a while. Moonbase is out for a while. But the rest are all new. Yeah, we made them all in the last month or so, I think. But yeah, it shows you how you can make your own narratives, you can create your own universe. We've done it with the Universe engine last year using Claude projects, and now it's like fully in Cline. So, by the way, you only need to clone one of these folders. You put it in a new VS Code project, and then there's a prompt. You know, as long as you've got your last page in the right place, it will just go ahead and, because it reads the page, and with all the rules and programming, it writes the page that goes before it, and then it reads that page and writes the one before that. It's very simple, really, and because I think that's why it works so well, because it is that simple, right? And again, it'll mimic the style of the last page too, so you can actually, like, if you actually handwrite the last page, it will try to mimic your style as well. Although, like I said, the best way to do that is actually customizing. So if I go into ghostwriting style, you can see that there's a whole bunch of rules here. Oh, they all go off the edge of the bleeding screen. It'll be easier to read this in VS Code, guys. I'm just going to copy it real quick. The silliness. Notes, not MD. It's not an MD file. That's okay. Right. So let me just give you a few examples of some of the rules I put into my default. This is the default writing style. Before we've done any customization, this is the one that you get out the box. So vary sentence structure and length to avoid monotony. Break up long sentences. Tighten verbose passages. When varying syntax, mix simple and complex sentences. Make dialogue flow naturally. Avoid repetitive beats. Interrupt debates with narrative, description or actions. Emphasize it. Yeah. I hope you can appreciate there's a lot in there. It's dense. I'm not going to read it all out because that's just unnecessary. It takes up too much time. But yeah, these are the basic rules, right? And when you look at other stories, we did experimental spoofs. So Tower, we actually look at Tower. We look at the ghostwriting style. It's not mine. This one is a Cosmic Prankster's Handbook, a style analysis for satirical fantasy. So this one is based on Douglas Adams, Terry Pratchett, and Kenny Everett, as suggested on stream when we created it. Yeah. So we've done it all live. Look, it takes like days for things to turn around, but we keep going, and yeah. So narrative voice mechanics, linguistic devices, typography, structural typography. So, like I said, there's a lot in there. Oh, and also, if you're not into the comedy stuff, which one was it? Was it Moonbase that ended up with the Ritchie system? Oh wait, that's another thing. Because But Therefore is in all of them. That's Narrative Splatoon. That's from South Park Writers. Where's the thing? Ghostwriter Style Guide. Here it is. The Thompson, Sanderson, Ritchie. So Hunter S. Thompson, Brandon Sanderson, and Guy Ritchie. Another one chosen by the chat when we were, doing it live. Obviously, different day, different, stories, basically. But yeah, there it is. So all of those are out now. There's no stories been written with New Mars yet. It's brand new. Literally, I just made it today. So say hello to Dr. Samuel Chen. I don't know. It's probably not even the main guy. Who's the main guy? Hang on. Eleanor Morozova? No. Kaito Kamiya. The Awakened. Spoilers! Arachnomorphs, you can't spoil that. But anyway, we were having a little bit of fun with Lovecraftian vibes. And like alien stuff. Anyway. Cool. So, from that point, I will continue adding modules to this beautiful Electron app. I've never made an Electron app, except for maybe once in the past when we were doing vibe coding fun. You know what I mean? Like I just, I made one to see if I could make one. I've never made one to actually get something done, if that makes sense. Like a couple of games here and there that are for giggles, but not actually doing anything. Like this is actually going to be this is an actual captioning tool. You know what I mean? Or well, it's one of the captioning tools. One of the. So, yeah, I'll add more of these to this. Job. The other thing is doodly do. I wonder if you can just make it just automatically go, oh, there's a script there. Make the thing. I don't think you can. That'd be nice though, because then you don't even need AI. That's the thing I like, is making a system that's like going to convert something from something to something, but then we make that programmatically with AI so that we can just do it forever for free. I think that's much better than having an AI do it, because otherwise you're paying tokens for everything you do. I'd rather pay 10 times the tokens and then just never pay again. Obviously that's better. So yeah, I'll carry on with that one in my own. And the narrative buckets are out, so we can expect a new Mars story soon. I have actually been recollecting all of my stuff. It's taken a while because I had too many computers. I basically bought like a new laptop this year, and I was trying to get by with like a little netbook thing, a Chromebook. I was trying to get by with a Chromebook, and you can do VS Code on a Chromebook, guys. It's insane. It can do it. It's actually okay, but you can't do like anything else. It's like maxes out the poor little thing. Yeah, so it can do it, but you're not going to be even watching YouTube at the same time or anything like that. So yeah, in the end I moved from that to a new laptop, and I think in the middle I was on an old laptop And so, like, obviously your project files get fragmented over like 4 machines. So I've been in the middle of like grabbing them back. So here I have Lost Tales. And in here, each one of these folders is actually a complete book. And the scary thing is that this one, for example, has 40 pages because it was made when I was developing the system. Not 40, 30. It's got 30 pages. Now, 30 pages might not sound like a lot, but this system, when we first devised it, we didn't realize how powerful it was. And so what it actually, it's not, a page isn't a page. A page is a chapter. It could be like 8 or 20 pages of text in each page. So actually what you're looking at here is like Lord of the freaking Rings or something ridiculous. Yeah. And my plan is actually I want to do a serialization project, you know, because, you know, like Dragon Ball Z, you could probably do the entire storyline. You could probably summarize the storyline quite short, but because the structure pads everything out, you know what I mean? So, like, if you wanted to do a serialization, you've got to write like that. You can't write super dense like a novel. And so I'm hoping that not too much stuff happens because it's got 30 chapters. I'm actually afraid of the edit on this one, I'm not going to lie. Wait, let me see what the content is real quick. So if I go page 19 expanded, Skyport 9, so this is all Thora stuff. It's all Thora stuff. Now it might be that this is just development crap and it just never comes out, you know. Well, to be honest, Fernicar, the Chromebook is limited, but it's actually a $100 phone with a laptop form. And so the fact it can even run VS Code is insane. So I got to give credit where credit's due. Like, if you want a cheap way to do vibe coding at a coffee shop, you can't really argue with a Chromebook. I would say that it's probably worth spending a bit more and getting a laptop with a GPU, because even a 4GB GPU can run Olama, and there are shitloads of quantized models now that are under 3GB. So you can literally do vibe coding for free. It's just not as good as the big boys yet. But I think over the next year, it's not going to be the case, you know. It's going to end up being that you can actually get viable, like, usable models that don't just bug out and, you know, because at the moment there's a lot of problems. But I can remember a year ago when Claude and that was not able to do it. It had a lot of problems too. So it's just a curve, man. It's just a curve. So anyway, like I said, here's my secret buckets, my Jovian and my Paradistro. I still haven't found Sharona. See, that's what I mean. I'm so annoying, like, getting everything together. But, yeah, like I say, so, switch. So, where's ComfyUI gone? Is it even open? Oh, no. Where is thing? Just a second, ladies and gents. What's that? Oh, we're not doing that no more. Yeah, I had this great idea of making like an advert serving platform. You could just go and search for ads and just watch them. Because some of them are funny. Some of them are funny, I don't care. Right? I know most ads are cringe and nobody wants to see them. But the weird thing is, there are some ads, like, that I wouldn't mind seeing. And I thought, oh, it would be great to go and get... You're not allowed. Terms of service. You're not allowed to have a website that just serves ads. Not allowed. You have to have content. Redeemable content must be on the site near the ad. I was like, oh, God. It's terrible. But then I guess they do it to stop spamming, don't they? It's just kind of ironic. It means that you can't just have a pure ads platform. Oh, well. Maybe a different advertiser will let me do it. I don't know. I just thought it would be funny to get like a ranking table of the ads, and then obviously the good ones would get ranked, and then advertisers would eventually, but that's the trouble, you can't. Yeah, I'm just trying to be the change I want to see in the world, guys. That's it. The best ads were the lager ads from the 80s, says Dragon. I can't argue with that, mate. They were pretty good. They were pretty funny. Yeah. Beer ads, old beer ads. Yeah. That's cool. So yeah, I'm going to turn this one into like a card-based CMS type template thing. So I'll like white label it, and then, you know, make it less applied to what I'm doing, and then give some prompts out. There'll be a new project going up about this, because this is like a really clean website system. It's kind of nice and easy to make. You can customize a whole bunch of stuff. You know, I can see it fitting with a whole bunch of different use cases, so I'll turn it into like a open template and shove it on GitHub soon. So that's that one. Like I said, I've used it for what I'm using it for. Chances are I'll just use the same prompt to make the next thing. I don't mind making things unique. You know what I mean? I'm not really like bothered if it doesn't really, oh, but it looks like, it doesn't look like the rest of your website though. Like, yeah, but I made this 2 years ago. You know? We do have some cool games. Should we play this one? This one's famous. I remade this one from a tweet. Someone put the tweet out and we built this. It's pretty cool. Looks like an Unreal demo, but the guy is like really small for some reason. It's pretty cool for a single prompt though, right? Anyway, I didn't actually write the prompt. I just made it work, I guess. Made it work. But I did change it though. I changed it into an actual game. Changed it into a get game. Now you've got to collect the coins, and you've got to avoid the red thing. It's not exactly like, you know, it's I'm not going to get any awards for this one, but I just wanted to show that it works, you know. So if we just, I missed a coin. That's going to cost me. So obviously, if he touches me, he's going to steal my score. That's the idea. Oh! Yes. Yes, too slow, red guy. Get out of here. Boink. And now we get to level 2. So all I did was turn it into an actual game. But when I say an actual game, it's more like Pac-Man meets... Well, yeah, it's Pac-Man, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But like I said, you know, we're at the point where this is like a single prompt. A single prompt. Well, maybe not with all the coins and the games and all that, but that's like, okay, 2 prompts. 2 prompts. Yeah? And look, the red guy can phase through objects as well. See, this is too easy. I think I might have made it that... it's just a random level. I thought I made it more difficult. But yeah, let's get eaten and see the game over. We're at score 21. Ready? Oh no! And he's taking my score away. Not exactly like, again, but you know, the classics, right? The classics. Oh, look at my score. It's not normalized. Quick. There we go. He's eating a bit of my score. There's actually like a run over, look. Vibe coding. Each coin is 1, but he's eating me in real time with 9 decimals for some reason. He's eating my score into decimal points. So as soon as I pick up the coin, look. 3.9824. And if I, yeah. So it truncates it for the scoreboard, but actually there's an insane decimal. Anyway, whatever. We made a whole bunch of different games. In the end, I think that the type of format that works best for this sort of thing is your idle format. So you do jobs, ships fly out, you get paid, you do upgrades, you get more ships, you unlock more planets, you go to a different star system. It's an idle clicker, you know, you just click, 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 click stuff, click, 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 right? Simple stuff, right? But yeah, this is actually fully fleshed out. It has all kinds of crazy random events. I'm actually really happy with that one. Based on this one, this is the first one I did. No graphics. You know, you just... Where is it? Upgrades? No. Research, automation, prestige. Ooh, I've still got a save game. Per click. It looks like I've broken this one somehow. Oh, is it my save game? God knows. I don't see any options. They're all grayed out. Oh, idiot! You got to click the button. You got to click the button. Click the button. You got to click. Here we go. We're playing now. That's the game, guys. And that's the game. Obviously, it's just like a cookie clicker or something, but with space stuff and no graphics. Which is why I like the planet setup better. Oh, yeah, don't forget the boxing game. This one's pretty funny. Fight. I should have trained harder, guys. And yeah, just silly little things like that is the sort of stuff. Pack runner, and then pack gunner, which is pack runner with guns. Yeah, just silly stuff. We tried to make all kinds of silly stuff. But anyway. I swear that we were doing something with Comfy ages ago, and it just got sidelined, like big time sideline action. Just been in VS Code all night, vibing. What's this? Ads tube. Get rid of that. I'm not doing it. Silliness. We've shown that off now. Yeah, we've shown that off. That's done. Right, so we talked about the bucket releases, we talked about the Lost Tales, we talked about the tool Electron. Yeah, now I remember. We installed some new custom node. We installed a new custom node and we ran out of hard drive space. Let's try it now. Still no space on the... It's not my day, guys. Get ready for icons. And the icons are gone. Do you know 12 gigabytes, 24, 25, 30 gigabytes? Yes. Hey, Clayton, what's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. USB GPUs, god dang. External GPUs, huh? Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that. I'm sure you can though. I'd rather just get it like either in the machine or not at all. It just sounds like something you're gonna knock or lose or damage or drop or sit on or spill something on or something. It just sounds like a bad idea, you know, because that's what happens to laptops anyway, so it's kind of like tempting fate, isn't it? If you had a GPU hanging out the side of a Chromebook, it'd be funny. It would be funny. Check it out, I'm playing the latest Oblivion remastered, mate. Like, it would be funny. Uh-oh. No space left on device still? You've got to be joking me. Come on. We got loads of memory. Alright, okay. It's deleting still. Can you believe it? It's still deleting. There's a lot of stuff on there. There's got to be space after all that. Anyway. So, we just created SVG Art Grid. I think I screwed up the mapping. I fixed the issues. Here's what I did. Added proper IO module, error handling, redundant Cairo import, existing SVG to ping. Oh, so I actually don't use Cairo then. Probably won't work. This is going to be fun. Okay, cool. What's this? Skip them all. Okay. Right, so before we do that, is this running? Yes. So I just want to see that node. I want to see if that node works. So here we go. SVGA. I've got to refresh. Ah, of course. Yeah, we need to restart Comfy because the node won't exist. It's worth a try. I bet I have to restart though. SVGR. Yeah, I gotta restart. And it might even be broken because I've never used it yet. It's a new node, everybody. But this looks super cool. Mind you, I didn't even download it, did I? Because the we didn't even download it yet because the hard drive's full. Which is, like I said, that's a problem I'll have to solve later. I'm not going to trouble you guys with that. I've already showed you the Scout. Look, we deleted all those comfies. There's no way that there's no space. 29 gigabytes. You gaslighting machine every time with the lies. Okay. So let's try this one more time. Okay, cool. So yeah, it was full, but it's not anymore. No, not that one. That one. Save link as in diffusion models, please. There we go. We're back in business. What have we got up here? Nothing. Where is the thing? Almost. We're almost there. Big Lion. His nodes are cool. You should have them. Oh no! You. What a pillock. Hang on a sec. What a pillock. Hang on a minute. What? What? Hang on. What the heck? How'd you even... Hold up. Node. It's just node. Okay, I'm having to like check stuff. If I go to string edit is... Wait. SVG recolor. That's the one I'm looking for. SVG recolor V2. Down the bottom. Node display mapping. Node, see, it's just called node class mapping. This is one thing I don't understand here. This is something I don't know. So like, one thing I don't understand here is why why is it saying node class mappings as color v2 node mappings? Why is it doing it like this? I don't normally do it like that. It's just the AI has done it differently than what I'm used to, because it's just node class. No class as thing. And so now it's not working because that's wrong. This bit. And I'll be real, I'm not sure what... Are you supposed to just... Because look, SVG recolor V2 is just color V2. Do I just make it up? I'll just make it up. The weird thing about a lot of this stuff is a lot of the time it's just, oh, it just needs to be different. It just needs to be something other than everything else is, and then it's fine. It doesn't actually care what I type as long as it's not something that's already there or whatever. No conflicts. I'm sure if you're a professional Python developer you know a lot more, but I have only had to do what I've had to do with it. I wouldn't, you know. Good. Well, we'll try it. Because I already asked the LLM and he was like, yeah, it's fine, boss. Go ahead. And when the LLM says it's fine, that's not a good sign. There is something I am a little bit worried about, though, and that is the dependencies, because I think that this had some new dependencies. If I remember, it was Cairo, SVG, and SVG right. So if I look here, we don't have either of those things. Okay. Now this might be the bit that makes me come unstuck here, but we're going to do it anyway. Save that. Hello? Can I get a thingy? Yeah, good. Right, so it'll be /install portable Cairo SVG is installed in machines 14, which is not on path. What? Hold up. You what? What do you mean it's not on path? Machines 14. This is crazy. How can that not be? I mean, how can that be? What? Huh? Huh? That's not right. Scuffed. I got scuffed environment variables, boys and girls. Whoa. There it is. Oh, that was dumb. I could probably put it a bit higher up as well now, thinking about it. So what's that? I don't even think that exists anymore. Yeah, we can get rid of that. And then push this guy up to there. Okay. Cool beans. So if I just test it again. No error. Sweet. That's fixed then. I didn't even know that was even needing to be fixed. Well, you learn something every day. So let's see. Now that's working, we should be able to actually restart Comfy and see the node. I haven't even tested the node yet. I'm like, the suspense is killing me. But yeah, we achieved a whole bunch of new stuff today. So like turning all of those tools into like a single Windows UI. That's pretty enticing to me. I like the idea of putting everything into one tool. That's cool. Because we made a lot of useful things. Let's just refresh. To be honest, I can't remember half of them. I had to like scour through to, and then I was like, and a couple of things were just too complicated, like the automatic editing stuff. That was just too complicated. To go in like a one, oh yeah, you just do this. No, it's not that. So yeah, SVG art. Oh, you've got to be. Still not working. Oh no. This will be the part where it just doesn't actually work. Requirements, good. We've done that. Oh, don't tell me there's still a problem. Right. I'm just going to run the prompt again. So yeah. So we are adding a new node at SVG art grid to the pack. However, it is now failing to import after having installed dependencies. Yes. I'm going to say nothing else. I think I broke it this time, guys. I think what happened was I went in and added it to the init because I'm used to doing that in all of my node packs, but it was written slightly differently. Whoa. Blackout. Yeah, it was written slightly differently, so I'm not familiar with this like custom mapping thing. I don't do it like that. and I'm guessing that it matters. Because there's a whole bunch. Oh, is that what it is? Ah, bro, all I gotta do. Oh, is that it? I just gotta add it in here. Ah. Oh man, too long didn't read strikes again. Right, hang on a sec. I know how to. Let me just see if I've got any. Yeah. My own laziness and speed, guys. Less haste, more speed. Look, what's this? Is restyler up here? Look, initialize empty dictionaries for all mappings. Wait, color V2 is up there. Color V2 is up there. Color V2 is down here as well. So, doesn't that mean art grid needs to be up there as well? Surely. Node mappings, display mappings, node mapping, display mapping, and then up top, what we got? We got node mappings and display mappings. So actually I need to make both. Okay. I know. It's fine. Get rid of the parser. Save that, restart it, and then read what Claude's got to say, because maybe I don't need another one. Maybe I don't need to do it. We'll see. So let's read it out. I do want to see the console. I need to know when he's restarted. Close that. Get the other one up. Down the bottom. There we go. Right now, where were we? See, chances are, by the time I've read his report, yeah, it's already restarted. So let's see it then. Did it still fail? I don't see now. Oh, yeah, just YOLO world. That's okay. That's been failed forever. So I think I fixed it. I don't need Claude now. Let me see. SVG art. I can fix. I can. No. It's broken for some other reason. Nah, it's not working. It's not working still. Balls. But it's not failing now. So I wonder if there's another error up here. Hang on. Ah, there it is. SVG art grid. No library called Cairo 2 was found. No library called Cairo. So he's still not happy. I know what to do before I do anything else, because this has driven me round the bend before. Sometimes the terminal has a memory of what exists and what doesn't exist. So you've just got to stop the terminal and start again. Like, for example, the path thing. When that terminal was opened, it didn't understand path. Now, we showed in here, from here, there was an error with path, which was saying it can't use Cairo, right? So if we fixed that and proved that with this one, no error, that terminal has been open for the whole stream. So before I start trying to fix a bunch of stuff, clean slate, start again, because it might be that the terminal was just old and you just need a fresh terminal to so I might be wrong, but trust me, in the past I've had it where, you know, you're trying to code your way out of a wet paper bag, and to be honest, you just needed to turn it off and on again. So it is worth it. Just every now and then, just you know, get to a place where you can recover from, and just it's just a good practice in general. Dragon says he has some Hunyan custom workflows coming out of the oven. I may post them this evening if I finish my dancing nuns video. Sounds intriguing. So let's see if it's open now. And we can check the actual logs now. So, because I did put a big old thing right here. Ah, it's still busted. Still busted, bro. SVG. Oh. SVG art grid. Nope. Just all of my other nodes are already there. Library found. So we'll just copy that then. And guess what he's going to get next? I will let him finish this though. Because maybe I made some more mistakes. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I made more mistakes. I don't know. Let's see, did I miss anything? I think I said hello to Clayton. Hello, hello, hello. Glad you can make it. Yeah, I say hello to everybody. Good times. But yeah, it was great to see Control Alt Art tonight. Nice to see Fernicart, Dragon, all the regulars, Full Dive, Dragon, Don't You Worry, Mr. Kirk Curtis, and of course Apollonia, who was here first tonight, which is pretty cool. Great to see you. What do we got here? Import. That's funny. Okay, well, it looks like he wants to debug himself. Not found, he says. What was he even trying to do? Import sys path append, import art grid print. What's he even doing? Oof! And it found a load of errors. It's a big oof right there. So what's it say? We've identified the issue. Import error is occurring because Cairo SVG is trying to load a binary library. Cairo 2 can't find it. This is a common issue with Cairo as it requires Cairo graphics library to be installed separately from the Python package. We need to modify the code to handle this dependency more gracefully. Currently, we import Cairo SVG at the top level, which causes an immediate error when the Cairo binary library is missing. Instead, we should move Cairo import inside the function that uses it. Add better exception handling for when it's not available, and then provide fallback. I don't know what fallback you're going to use. I've identified the real problem. But how is it missing the library? Because it is there. It's very strange. I think this is just more pathing problems. Let's run this. Did it do it? Imported grid. So, but Cairo false. But that's expected, is it? Okay. So we're going to fallback rendering using pill. So we're going to generate the SVG, and then we're going to use a rasterizer to get away with the fact that we can't save it because Cairo isn't available. Look, if this works, yeah, it's fine. It would be nice to get the actual SVGs, but I can already generate them, so I don't know. It would be nice. Maybe there is a way to get Cairo working. Let's find a different approach. What are these tests? I've never seen this sort of. This kind of testing is like old school. So what's this? Error importing. What are you doing? Uh-oh. Relative import with no known parent package. Is this my fault for making a scuffed package, or is this him going crazy? Find out next time on Scuffed Epoch. Alright guys, that's pretty much everything I've got for you tonight. We'll be back, same time, same place. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 8 PM. Until next time.